The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, folks, to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, we go into the breach, dear friends, and we meet at this time every day.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
It does every day. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. But does it, we don't really tune anymore, do we? There's no more knobs. There's nothing but buttons. But yeah, I guess the saying persists. Anyway, as we start the day off and look at the markets real quick, we're up about 10 points on the S&P cash. Tried to push it down to the previous low of yesterday. Didn't quite get there. Tried to push it up a little higher. Got to 1992 on the S&P cash. Volume to the downside is light. Volume to the upside is light. I don't see a great deal out here that says we've got anything going on. Volume also is much lighter than the previous 3 or 4 days as we start the show with just 2.5 billion shares on the New York Consolidated tape. So quiet day. It's kind of been, I'm wondering if the market's not going to act exactly like it did yesterday, which is try to hold up here, kind of roll over. Now, what we do have is the very end of options rollover, and that's why the total lack of volume in a great deal of these stocks makes me think a shade bearish. No turducken of bearishness out here. I do think that we're going lower. Options have said that for the last 3 days, but not that much lower, about 1950 on the S&P cash. I'm wondering if we're not going into a lack of volatility over the next few days as we probably slowly move down. Tomorrow, of course, we've got the EU and Mario Draghi. Every time I heard that name, the only one thing I can think about is that I think it was Moonraker, James Bond Moonraker. Draghi Industries was the villain in it. And even back then, I thought Draghi sounded like a villain kind of name. Anyway, the non-James Bond villain, tomorrow we'll be talking at about, I think it's about 8:30, 8:45. I know it's a little later. I think they talk earlier, and then they come in, and then they make a statement. We always see the statement, I think, about 8:30. It normally runs till about 10 till 9. No Mario Andretti now. In the meantime, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. But very light and variable volume, very light and variable movement. Now, if we were to really have a big move into the close today, then I think you could make a case that options basically the options going delta neutral into next Friday's, a week from Friday's option is over. And what we've seen over the last 2 days of this slow push down is over. We'll be talking a great deal more about options tomorrow once I get the data and I go through it and we'll look at it. In the meantime, it's time to get this party started with a little bit of history.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and I've got my date wrong here. It's not 1959, it's 1946. The first Barbie doll goes on display at the American Toy Factory in New York City. 11 inches tall with a waterfall of blonde hair, Barbie was the first mass-produced toy doll in the United States with adult features. The woman behind Barbie was Ruth Handler, who co-founded Mattel with her husband in 1945, I guess 1946. I guess it went on sale in 1946 today. After seeing her young daughter ignore the baby dolls to make believe and made paper dolls of adult women, Handler realized there was an important niche in the market for toys that allowed little girls to imagine the future. And I guess still a big deal, although it's kind of a disturbing trend in the Barbies in the last few months, if you followed the news. But other than that, I don't know. Disturbing, I think, would be the best way. China, starting to see more news come out of China and how people are trying to desperately get cash out of China. I can even say it, regulators closely monitoring cross-border flows of anything, including gold, are heightening the risk of more stringent capital controls being put in place because investors have become increasingly inventive when it comes to getting money out of China. Some capital outflows may have been disguised under over-invoicing of imports from Hong Kong, i.e. paying them, especially anything from the United States or Australia, and then having them kick back the money in that country and put the money in that country outside of China, mostly because they, just like Japan, are incredibly worried about being able to not have the government swoop in and just take everything. China imports from Hong Kong jumped 71% year on year on average, in a sharp contrast with Hong Kong's statistics of its exports to China. Among China's imports from Hong Kong, jewelry, precious metals surged by over 200%. And, of course, a lot of that was overbilling to get the cash across the border. But China numbers, as we saw yesterday, still problematic. But we will keep that in sight. But, of course, they haven't been good and haven't been good for a while. And we haven't seen any numbers out of China that says anything is getting better anytime soon. Google and Yelp, fake reviews have been a problem. We've talked about it. I thought Yelp was a giant problem when it came out. It is now kind of seeping into some of the stuff that Google is doing. They've lost some legal battles too. And the whole idea behind Yelp or Google or any of these folks, and including Amazon, has been if you are competing against somebody or you just don't like their product or someone didn't treat you right, you go online and start writing a bunch of mean and nasty, untrue reviews about them. That's exactly what happened in Yelp. We found that after a few lawsuits, the Yelp had to give up and rat out the people that were doing it. That became a real problem because everybody finally figured out that you are responsible what you say. There was no anonymity behind just going online. And of course, in Yelp's case, there was the classic case that settled everything was two dry cleaning establishments. One did not like the fact that the other one had a lower price. So he just got on there and wrote all kinds of nasty reviews that were untrue. The other dry cleaning establishment forced Yelp to cough up the news. We basically have the same thing happening in Europe with a nursery in Amsterdam won a case against Google, making them cough up the names. Of course, you don't really want to get into the fact that maybe what you have isn't quite right, and they're having problems with it. We'll talk more about this and other things and charts as we go through the rest of the show.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. If you missed the Steve Rhodes show preceding my show here, the Power Trading Hour, he was talking about one of the best movies of the 90s out there. And of course, that was My Cousin Vinny. And I had this queued up, so I just wanted to play it before we get into the rest of it. Just a little fun out there. But if you haven't seen the movie, it's well worth it. But if anybody's ever tried to talk to somebody from the Northeast, it's like they're speaking a whole different language.
Yeah. Is it possible the two youths...
To what? What was that word?
What word?
To what?
What?
Did you say utes?
Yeah, two youths.
What is a ute?
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. Two youths.
Two youths. That's, of course, Fred Gwynn. That was, of course, Herman Munster. That you didn't see him in many movies or much after that, but I still like the guy. He was, what was that animal, not Animal House, Pet Cemetery. Oh, what a creepy movie. We have to move on, though. iPad's future is a little bit in doubt. IDC that tracks a lot of numbers for all computer sales is saying that Apple is struggling to find anybody who wants to buy its tablets of any size, including the new one. Apple Android tablets are dominating the market by sheer volume, and even seeing their repeat or upgrade numbers flatline or go down for Apple. All you have to do is go in any store, and there's 20 different versions of Android tablets, anywhere from $49.95 from what you can get a Amazon Kindle up to $500 for the high-end Samsungs. I don't know if the Samsungs are probably selling any better, but the whole idea that everybody was moving to the tablets continues to wither and die on the vine, but not much out there. Of course, we've talked about a little bit about trade wars. We saw some of that last week with China. U.S. announced on yesterday additional trade restrictions on some of the companies inside China, mostly because they are taking some of our high-tech stuff that is banned from export into Iran. ZTE's been selling it against that, so that we have basically cut off their ability to sell any of those products. And of course, we're not allowed to sell any more products to ZTE. The Chinese are most incensed, shaking their fists. But I kind of get the little hint out there that maybe a little bit of trade war is starting to get a few whiffs of it. But ZTE can't sell their phones. There's some other stuff going on. Other companies that want to work with them and sell stuff are having problems selling them. Intel, Microsoft, and Qualcomm will be forced to apply for export license. The ZTE will have to prove where its products go, even if they take it off. So it has become incredibly problematic. And again, maybe a little hint of trade wars heating up. Keeping an eye on this S&P. Again, light and variable, 8.5 points higher, but volume is not saying anything. Both up and down today has been very light. Just 2.66 billion shares. If you missed this, I was going to talk about it Monday, and for whatever reason, it slipped my mind. There is a problem with Bitcoin, and a lot of people have been talking about it for 6 months coming, and it actually started to smack, everybody started to smack into it over the weekend. So maybe this is a reason to be in gold over Bitcoin. The problem is that they only put a certain amount of size as to the address, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this succinctly and easily. Just like a telephone number, probably a good example, where everybody started off with 4 digits, and then you went to 7 digits, and then you had an area code. Basically, that is the same problem that Bitcoin is getting into. It is now taking anywhere from 10 minutes to half a day to allow the blockchain to clear. And if you don't know a lot about Bitcoin, what happens is everybody has to agree before anything goes through. Well, the problem is, as these numbers get bigger, just try to figure dividing a number. As the number gets bigger, of course, the harder it is to divide. You have to, go through more digits. It is more problematic because cryptography is involved. So now it's starting to take a great deal of time. And as I said, anywhere from 10 minutes to a half a day for transactions to go through. If you were talking about Amazon, how would you feel if you clicked the button and you didn't know whether your product was going out today, same day delivery, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe the next day, because they were relying on something like this? My guess is, of course, any kind of blockchain product going on in the future would be and would use a much larger size limitation, so it wouldn't have this issue. But one of the failings early on, a lot of people pointed it out, and they never really did change it. But again, probably the biggest thing is, of course, the illegal drug business that depends on this, and many people that have had their computers hijacked and ransomware put on it actually ran out of time over the weekend, weren't able to pay in Bitcoins, and their computers locked up. There's no way to get it back out. So I guess we have to cry a little bit for the people ransoming computers out there. And of course, if you missed it on Monday, I think 6,500 computers got virused up, but this time they were Macintosh computers. And again, there was little or no ability, kind of like the equivalent, like when everybody came over here and the Native Americans had no resistance to a lot of our viruses and bacteria. And of course, they died off in huge waves. Macintoshes have kind of been protected in the fact that they're only about 10% of the machines, in fact, now down about 7% of the machines are running the Mac OS on them for new sales every year. But it becomes a problem because, of course, there just isn't a great deal of ability to inoculate because they haven't had a lot. I always think about kids that their mothers kind of hover over them. They never let them get sick. They never get to build up an immunity. Kind of the exact same thing. Anyway, they continue to look for the original builder of a Bitcoin. We talked about it maybe 6 months ago, where the Australian National Police stormed a house because they were absolutely sure that this was the guy that put it all together. And of course, nah. But when we come back, we'll look at a lot more charts. We've got a special musical production before the end of the show that you don't want to miss.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're a lot of snoring going on right now in the market. Very thin, very light volume. We're just up to 2.7 billion shares now. So it depends on how you want to look at it. But at least the move from yesterday, if we closed right here, would be up 10 points on a much lighter volume than yesterday at the current run rate. Of course, it's always the last 30 minutes that give you the kind of the truth. During the day, it can wind around a bit. We saw a little bit in the movement of the dollar. Of course, we're going to have the EU decision in the morning. We might see a little bit more movement then. But at the moment, pretty much all the stuff that we're looking at. So we will keep an eye on it. But light and variable, and certainly more than a little bit of nothing going on. What we have seen is some lighter volume at highs on some stocks. I can't think that I remembered this from yesterday or the day before, but I was very interested to watch Apple on January 25th. It basically went from $93.42 up to the highs of 101.43 on January 25th. It had 65 million shares. We gapped up on that on the 4th. The volume was 46 million shares. So what are we, 19 million shares light on that day. It's pulled back into the trading range, had some movement. The more important thing, of course, is that we are about 10 days away from the announcement of their next phone. And a lot of people are trying to figure out what their earnings are going to look like, mostly because of the way that the calendar is falling and when they are going to ship them. But that week of the 21st, almost always they do their rollouts on a Tuesday. So I think you could probably make a 80-85% bet that if you think that people are going to try to run this thing up before the announcement, that you would look at the target date for them to roll this out as the 22nd. So you might want to keep that on your calendar if you're trading Apple. I don't know if there's a lot here. I think actually what you would like to see is this pull back in the next week to about 97 if you're bullish on this, and continue to see light and variable volume. But there's a nice little gap there. That's on the 1st of March. It gapped up with 50 million shares. It'd be kind of nice to have that thing kind of come back in down there. It's only $2 or $3 down below. And with the news flow of Apple, I don't know if it would be that big a deal to see a pullback in it. But a lot of light and variable here. Nothing for heavy volume on the way back yet. But Apple does tend to move a lot on news articles, and you never will know when someone's going to come out there and drop the hammer on it. Arrow Electronics. If you're unfamiliar with this company, I bought a ton of stuff from them over the years. They do a lot of components, including hard drives, but mostly little, capacitors, transistors, integrated chips. If you know what DigiKey is, this is kind of DigiKey to the bigger companies. DigiKey works with a lot of smaller companies, larger ones too, but Arrow only deals in mass quantities as a wholesaler for the most part. They bought a variety of companies along the years that I've used to do business with. So I kind of know them fairly interestingly. Now on this one, you had a high of November 6th with 910,000 shares, but you also had a high on October 14th of 700,000 shares. We went into this the last couple of days with about the same volume. Probably the biggest tell out here that I dislike is the energy coming off on the A to B leg was very good. B to C leg, you had a couple of days with some energy, but that was pretty much it. Then you have the C to D leg out here. You pretty much have completed the ABC on this. So I don't know what you'd be looking at anymore. Probably best to see that this thing would pull back on light volume to $54 if you were bullish on this thing, and maybe you got the next ABC set up. That gap happened on fairly light volume, and again, there hasn't been a lot of energy all the way up on this one, most likely setting up some kind of trading range. Other stocks, CDK Global on this, and that is, what do you got? Just no volume back up here at the highs, and of course no volume at the lows, kind of what we were talking about today. And that is that there just isn't a lot of clear signals on these. What I dislike about this is it did get up to its gap that had, 718,000 shares. tested it with 1.8 million on February 3rd, spiked it, then of course came right back down light volume into February 11th at $40.33, came back up, and it's right back up to this level of resistance. Again, you had about the same volume, nothing close to the volume of February 3rd, and now we're pulling back. Volume is a little bit more than you would think. CD Clay Global, let's get the profile up. Digital marketing solutions for the automotive retail industry worldwide. The company operates through three segments: automotive retail North America, automotive retail international, and digital marketing offers solutions to automate and integrate critical workflow processes from pre-sale, targeted advertising, everything else. So I guess what you would have to look at this is if they're not doing well, probably car sales are not doing well either. But the energy on this last leg up didn't do anything to make me think this is doing anything more than a bigger trading range from that February 11th low, of course, to the high yesterday. So we will continue to keep a look at it. Let me, did I get it here? There we go. Just nothing out here today, so it's hard to hang your hat on these, but we'll look at some other ones. Copart, kind of the same thing. Energy back off this low from February 11th. Had lighter volume going into the candle of January 30th. Certainly didn't pierce the low, which I would have liked to seen to give a clearer signal. But once we got back up to the top, where we're at now, we're going into the November 25th high at $39.86, 3.2 million shares. And of course, the most we've had here is 1.1 million shares. So about, a little less than a third of the volume. No energy as we get up to these highs. Did pierce the highs out here today. Doesn't look like there's anybody saluting as it goes up the flagpole. And again, probably watching the car market fairly closely. If we want to look at ABCs, we've got some fairly interesting ones sitting up. Charles Rivers Laboratory getting up to its 618 retracement. Did we talk about this yesterday? I think maybe we did. I was watching to see what happened on this one today. Again, heavy energy on the way down, light energy on the way up, hit its retracement, kind of pulling back into this trading range. When we come back, a musical selection from Kanye West.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Anybody that knows me knows that I love music. I really love music, and it's just as easy to listen to good music as it is to bad. Doesn't cost any more. But I found this morning, and anytime one of your kids starts telling you that the music today is good or great, or that any of the people that are listening to have a clue about being a musician, I think this probably tells you everything about the big pop stars today. Let's roll it.
I just killed a man, put my gun up to his head, pulled a trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had, but now
Okay, I've had enough. Just cut it off. We don't need to torture anybody anymore. If you want a link to why music actually stinks today, email me at path@tfnn.com. I've got a YouTube video for you. We went through the years of having to go through Muzak and elevators. Isn't it time that we just plant the flag and just say, okay, this is horrible stuff. We don't want our kids growing up with this horrible stuff. It's time for them to actually get somebody that has a absolute clue of what decent music is. Anyway, email me at path@tfnn.com. I will send you a link and set you straight so you can start setting others straight. We went through the Muzak wars in the elevators for 20 or 30 years. Maybe we can put an end to this before it gets any worse. Just a pet peeve of mine. We're going to go through more stocks of interest. Darden Restaurants, I went and checked this out at lunch at a meeting. Kind of interesting to see what was going on. Not a lot of people, but you know, that's anecdotal. I did go there today because I had a business meeting, but I also wanted to see what kind of business there was in there today. Talked to the hostess and asked them, you know, how business had been lately. Certainly the chart backs up kind of the fact that maybe it's not as good as it was, of course, during Christmas, and maybe, especially down in Florida, maybe we get the rollout of big, heavy Italian food earlier, and people go to fish and other lighter foods and salads. Anyway, Darden had a high December 23rd, 2.2 million shares, $64.09, $65.34. On March 7th, 1.6 million shares. So you're basically 6 million shares shy of the high. And the energy, though, not as bad as you would think. But again, for me, everybody wants to buy the pullbacks. No one wants to buy the breakouts, and we continue seeing that here. They own a few other ones down here in Florida, if you're familiar with the restaurants. Bahama Breeze, Longhorn Steakhouse, I think, is the other ones. But no volume at the highs. I guess that's what I have to say about that. And now we have a company coming up to Confluence. IGE. What do we have on this one? We had a pretty decent gap down. Didn't come with a lot of volume back on the 7th of December. A little under 1 million shares, 939,000 shares. Nice Confluence setup, though, in IGE. And this goes back to some fairly large Fibonacci moves starting back on May 5th of 2015. We also have November 3rd on 2015, which sets up this Confluence level, which we're in right now. $29.65, $28.55. You did have that gap down. We'll zoom in on this just a little bit more. 12.7, 1.6 million shares yesterday, back into the trading range out here. So pretty much an identical setup or ideal setup. You had a couple ABCs, got back up to that gap. The energy was okay, wasn't stupendous. You pretty much completed your ABC up to this March high. Pull back today, starting to get some volume. Of course, I want to watch how this comes in at the end of the day. But this is the Natural Resources Index Fund. And you might give that a little view out there. Not a ton of volume, but interesting just the same. Same kind of thing in IXC. And that is that we came up to the Confluence levels on it. Very much the same kind of thing. Energy was a lot lighter in this one as we came back up to this gap, and that is 12.7. Gap down with 2.2. Let me call it 220,000 shares. Did get into a little bit more volume, 290,000 shares, and it is just about that. It's you had a very, very tight Confluence level on this one too. $29.52 to $29.44, and the gap is in there. Yeah, it's just it. I don't know what else you can say about it. I think that's it. It's right up to that. I would have liked seen a little lighter volume. The energy in that C to D, February 11th low to March 7th high, just really kind of came out of it for the move out there. So I think you probably have as much as you want. Congestion zone would be back down to $27.24 to $26.70. So you got about $3 out there. I don't know if you could get a great case for a retest of the low. There was just 530,000 shares. But a lot of these energy sectors and everything else look like they're pretty close to resistance and probably would need some consolidation and hopefully a pullback to get things going better. We've been talking about some of these stocks in the sector of kind of the things that you just have to have. You certainly in the stock market, you buy when you think maybe things are problematic. And, you are higher today on Coca-Cola. I want to watch the volume come into the end. If this is right, we only have about 10 million shares. We'll check that during the break. But that compares to 35 million shares on October 22nd, 21 million shares on December 16th, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. We were talking Coca-Cola. I don't know. In fact, I forgot to do that. Let's do it real quickly. And I confirmed 12 million shares. Okay. Well, is that right? Yeah, it says 12. Okay. A little light on this one. Anyway, 12 million shares. I mean, even if you go conservative and look at the $43.91 high on December 16th, 21 million shares. I don't think you're going to get there. So, you had 18, yesterday? Is that what it was? Yeah, 19. So you kind of got close to that December 16th high. And what else you say? October 22nd, 43.85 with 35 million shares. So, I mean, conservatively, you'd want that 35 million shares to actually play it. You kind of into it yesterday, a little lighter volume. And, of course, you really wanted to see that coming through today. 12 million, let's be charitable, say this thing gets 17 million today. Still problematic when we look at it. Cisco, and this is not the router company, but the food delivery company, 5.3 million shares to 3.5 million shares. Now, something's going on here. We've talked about this pattern before when you get a lot of days just going sideways without much movement. And what else is out here? That's about it. 5.3 million shares, February 19th, $54.11. That's kind of set that high. You've gone a little sideways here. I didn't see any rumors or news about a buyout. Normally, you want to look at two things. One, somehow it got up there. It was a buyout. Where's the headlines here? Just make sure that there's nothing else going on I don't know about. Updated guidance, improves gross static. I don't see anything in here that actually says anything about higher pricing. 5.3 million shares, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, you've got one of two things going on when you hit these highs like this, especially in Cisco. Either you got a lot of people sitting on the top with an order above it or an order below it. I haven't watched this thing intraday, but I imagine if you went back and looked through it a little bit, you would probably find something like that. That's about it. This one's setting up. I know occasionally people look in the den and really start talking about building cause, and that's actually what you have here. Now, the volume is very light. That normally doesn't connote lots of people buying. But a lot of people probably with just orders over the top of it. Sometimes these things can jump. Normally you want to see, of course, it pushing with volume instead of just going sideways with light volume. Light volume again today. The proof would probably be tomorrow, and that is pulling back tomorrow and start seeing a little bit of volume. You've got a big gap out here. That gap goes back to February 1st, 19.5 million shares. Gotta think that that's gonna get hit. You'd want $40.50 on this to go find some kind of support, I would imagine. Lots of volume that day, just about everything you want. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.